Hello, you're watching my YouTube channel, and I'm your host, kamranarshad. Today, I've invited a guest to my vlog. I'm very excited that today, the person I've invited for this vlog again, and I am gonna discuss her life, her visions, her goals, and most importantly, her field. Hello and welcome. We are delighted to have Mishal Qureshi here today with us. But to kick off, Mishal, could you please tell us what inspired you to pursue a career as perception manager, public speaker, business student, performance enabler, and perhaps share a bit about your journey leading up to your current role?
So, hi everyone. I think things just unfolded all by themselves for me.
Hmm.
I had close to very less plans of perhaps being all of what you have just mentioned, but um, I think things just started to unfold in my career all by themselves, and things just started rolling as I moved forward. I think the role that has inspired me the most perhaps would be the lead of a global perception manager where I look after the employee engagement side, the global employee engagement for IBEX PK overall. Along with that, there are several other things attached to this specific role. So yeah, things sort of made their own mark, made their own way, and things have been, alhamdulillah, pretty well since then.
Ma'am, how do you manage all the things? Because when I reviewed your profile, perception manager, it's a separate field. Public speaker, you
Hmm.
have potential. I know very well that you have a lot of things in your personality, so you can speak to public and you can motivate them. Then you are a
Yeah.
business student, right? Performance enabler. So these are the things. How do you manage all the things in a proper way? How to manage time for that?
Uh,
Because we have heard that a person who will be successful, who has the grip of time management. So
yeah.
why is
So
that?
I find it really, yeah, sure. So I find it really very funny when people tell me or tell in general or mention in general कि हमारे पास time नहीं है. I find it really funny because I, being super busy, I always have time. I mean, it's all about how you manage your priorities, how you set your day in a way, or how you sort of design your day in a way whereby you get to spend time on what you care about, what you like. So I think it's all about managing and setting up your priorities right. If you have those right, I think anything can be done. And people who tell you they don't have time, basically they lack the skill to sort of organize their time or to manage their time correctly. No offense to anyone, but sometimes I feel, why do I always have time for things that I love? So, I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, it's all about how you set your priorities up right.
Great, great, man. All right.
Yeah.
How does participating in a career fair benefit job seekers in terms of networking opportunities, industry insights, and potential job leads, man?
Participating in a career fair.
Yeah.
Well, career fairs are extremely important. If you're a fresh graduate or you're about to graduate and say the next quarter, job fairs, career fairs, even one-on-one career drives, I believe they are extremely, extremely important in order to set your direction right. Um, for fresh graduates, I think it's very crucial for them to be able to understand that this is the first step of them interacting with the employers, and they definitely they can't just have a casual attitude about it. They have to sound very serious about their career. They should mean business when they speak. Their body language should, you know, sort of be in contact with their mind and emotions. There should not be a neglect there. So I think for fresh graduates, it's very important to be very, very serious during any of the career fairs. They can dress up their best, they can show up as their best, and they should definitely not joke around. This is one thing that I have seen in many of the career drives I've been कि groups में लोग आएंगे और आपस में मजाक कर रहे होंगे. So I mean, it may sound or look very funny, but at the same time अगर थोड़ा सा कोई employer serious है और उसकी intention है to hire you, and you're joking around with your buddies, that may have a little standoffish feeling to the overall exposure of it.
How do you find them? Actually, these are only the employees of IBEX.
Sorry, in terms of?
How do you find them actually as fresh graduates? These are the only employees in IBEX?
Well, no, fresh graduates, I mean, see, to find them, I don't think you have to find them. They should find you, basically. If they're looking for a career, if they're looking for a job, if they're looking for see, according to me, there are two sets of candidates. There are two types of candidate. Let's generalize it a bit. One candidate is maybe who is not so looking for a career. He or she would just show up to career fairs just to have fun, just to meet people, see people, understand what's happening in the
Just
industry,
to
and
earn
just get
money.
along with it. Yeah, and just get along with it. And then there is another type, which is uh, extremely hardworking, perhaps from a humble background, who wants to succeed, who wants money, at the same time wants to have a very established career over the years. So you need to find that person who has a vision to their career. I mean, me being a recruiter for so many years, I would not hire a person with zero vision. कि आपको पता ही नहीं है अगले 3 साल में, 5 साल तो बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं, अगले 3 साल में आप क्या कर रहे होंगे. If a person has clarity about that, vision about that, that person is, I believe, the right individual to be hired.
Actually, ma'am, we don't make goals, so that's the reason behind that, I think. Because we don't believe in goals, that we can do this. We don't believe. I don't believe in myself that what potential I have or what can I do. So this is actually the problem. This is a dilemma of a society, I think. What's your opinion on
Well,
this?
you've gotten into a very, very good point over here when you mentioned society's dilemma. The
Yeah.
problem, I believe, here is that we, unfortunately, as a culture, when we were growing up, when we were in school, colleges, um, unfortunately, as a society, as a culture, speaking of me at least, there have been very less amount of people telling me that you can do this. क्या हो गया? Go for it. You know that motivation. आपको कितने लोगों ने कहा होगा अभी तक कि कामरान, you can do this. Come on, what's wrong? You can do this. You can do more. You can do better.
अच्छा,
I
किसी
don't
ने नहीं
think
कहा.
true, right?
Right,
So
absolutely.
unfortunately, as a nation, I don't know if I should say that or I can get bullied by this, but you just have to find it in within. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but it's true. But just have to find within, set your goals within.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, आजकल जो है इतना डायनामिक एक एरा चल रहा है. डिजिटलाइजेशन इज सुपर स्ट्रॉन्ग. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, I mean, it's just too high in everything. Everything is on a high. So you just have to find your area where you can be थोड़ा अपना humble area देखें कि आप थोड़े humble भी रहें, अपनी कोर के साथ कनेक्ट होके, एंड देन यू कैन डिफाइन योर ओन गोल्स और फिर आगे अल्लाह मालिक है. That's
Actually,
how
we
I
just
look at
use
it.
these platform for fun, for entertainment. This is actually the problem. We don't use as productive. Like me, I'm not getting reward from anyone that what you are doing. But the thing is, we can use that for a productive things. But we just use that platforms which you are elaborating. We just use for funds. We are here for making friends. We are here for getting numbers.
Uh,
So these
I
are the
mean,
things.
there's nothing wrong with that also. I mean,
Really?
it's totally okay to, absolutely. I mean, it's nothing wrong with making people friends, or getting to know them, or to have your contact list, having to add them in your contact list. Perhaps there is somebody out
Mm.
there who can, bring in business for you, who can, आजकल references बहुत दूर तक जा सकते हैं अगर आप उन references को थोड़ा सा materialize करें,
Your
channelize
network
करें.
is your net worth, right?
Absolutely. So networking is very important, but with the right attitude,
Mm.
you should be able to understand कि मैंने अपने network को, या मेरा अगर कोई एक potential lead बन रही है या reference बन रहा है, मैंने उसको channelize कैसे करना है.
Mm.
And communication is key. So the other day I was speaking to this very successful individual, and this person is from nutrition industry, the
Mm.
sort of, if that's the right way to put it. So she mentioned that the services that she can provide and how we can bring her on board, etc. But I figured that there were things that we may not be able to comprehend with whatever she was offering. So it's important to tell people and close that deal. अगर मैं उसको open ended छोड़ दूँ, 6 महीने साल गुजर जाएंगे, उसको भी याद नहीं रहेगा, मुझे भी याद नहीं रहेगा, फायदा नहीं है. So
Mm.
networking को अगर आपने दूर तक लेके जाना है कि अगले बंदे को याद रहे कि यार इसमें इतनी तमीज थी कि मुझे कम से कम बता दिया इसने आके,
Mm.
तो नेटवर्किंग जरूर करें, नो प्रॉब्लम इन दैट. इट
Mm.
कैन गो अ लॉन्ग वे. ठीक है,
Mm.
अगर वो सही लोगों के साथ आप करें और आपकी इंटेंट सही है, सो इट कैन डेफिनेटली गो अ लॉन्ग वे.
And can you share some tips for effectively navigating a career fair, from preparing a compelling resume to making a lasting impression during interactions with recruiters and employers? How do you deal with that?
So अच्छा, so is this from the candidate's perspective?
Exactly.
कि वो, all right. I think if I look back, again, showing up is half of the win. Show
Mm.
up. Career fair, if there's a career fair in your campus, in your university, if another university, friends of friends, cousins, whatever, just show up. Go there. Let's see what happens. That's
Mm.
one thing. I think also you should be able to navigate the resources you got, present yourself in the best possible way you can, be as business serious as you possibly can. Tell
Mm.
them what you want. Tell your employer what inspires you. Why would you want to join them? Or why should your, uh, say, an ex-employer should hire you? See,
Mm.
now we were just talking about you being in IBEX for this thing that you were for training. And there is a reason why you joined or aim to join this specific training, right? Or IBEX wanted to have such people on board that can bring some sort of business benefit to them, right? Any
Mm.
employer, be it a MNC or a startup, they would not hire a person unless they bring in some business value to their business. And the right way to portray that you have got it and you
Mm.
can bring that business value is
Mm.
to be able to show it that you have it.
Mm.
So I think थोड़े बहुत चेक्स हैं, कुछ ज्यादा रॉकेट साइंस इसमें बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. ओवरडू भी नहीं करना. This is also very important. Some people would just be too good to be true. They will appear like they will, वो घर ही नहीं जाएंगे दफ्तर से. So, that is also too good to be true. So don't overdo it. Candidates should never like sort of push it too hard कि जी वो लगे कि भाई ये तो रियली नहीं बात कर रहा. तो
Mm.
रियलिटी के साथ इन टच रहना जरूरी है. रियलिटी के में रह के आप अपना बेस्ट दें एम्प्लॉयर को, and any sane employer will hire you like this.
Actually, ma'am, we always used to say that it's very difficult for me. I can't do that. So why we are not ready
Hmm.
to take challenges?
Well, I am. I, I am. I think again, Kamran, it's just very deep rooted. This problem, unfortunately, is not something that we all just started experiencing. This is very deep rooted. It comes from the family of origin.
Yeah,
It comes from the kind of friends we have had all our
schooling
lives.
system.
I'm sure you
They are just
absolutely.
getting
It's
fee. They
so
are not telling them you have this potential. Then they will say you have to choose. You have to find a person who will tell you where is your career, what potential do you have. Baba, you are the teacher.
mm,
So you don't know him.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
are just getting money.
And I and I also feel that the amount of competition and the race that we have always been into, and this is my biggest, and I speak a lot about this, and I care a lot about this,
Hmm.
that since at least I was in school, I was a debater all my life. I've been winning a lot of debating competitions, sports competitions, etc. So I remember before any of my competitions, my instructors used to tell me that you have to win this. It's
Yeah.
on you. You have now when I look back, I'm like, why would you say that to a little child? So for me, winning for them was
Yeah.
everything,
Hmm.
right? So now I feel it was quite, I mean, we perhaps needed some better instructors. So
Now
yeah.
we analyze the situation. Actually, what's the problem for the in our society for the persons who are willing to do job, who are willing to find his career, what he wants to do, right? So how can we get out
Hmm.
from this situation? Do you have any plan for that? Do you ever think
Sorry,
that?
can you rephrase your question so I could better comprehend this?
Yeah, actually, I want to ask you if I want to do something in the life, and you have analyzed that I
Hmm.
have a problem, only a confidence problem or a body language problem, right? So how can a person get out from that problem?
Hmm.
Because you are a public
Hmm.
speaker as well, that's why I'm asking this kind
Yeah.
of question from you.
So, okay, it's funny, and I'm spilling the beans right now, but it's very funny. So every single time, Kamran, even right now,
Hmm.
when I go, or if you tell me that I have to go on stage in next 10 minutes
Hmm.
and face like 500 people, I've done that. I did it. I've done anchoring. I've done that. It's not a problem. But
Hmm.
even then, I get those butterflies. I get that nervousness. I get that, oh my God, what, I hope everything goes well. It's normal. I
It's
just put
natural.
my staging face.
Yeah.
You just have to put that face on, switch it on, go do it, and just phase out. That's how I do it. I'm not sure if some of the personality experts are watching. They may be judging me right now, but I think it's never easy for anyone. Believe me,
We
it's
just have
as
to face the
difficult as
situation. Is this the way? Is this the only way?
I think I think well, you have to do the groundwork for sure. One thing that you have to do is be very, very well prepared. If you
Hmm.
think that you're going on stage, by
Hmm.
stage I effectively don't mean stage, but
Hmm.
if you're gonna face public, say in next 30 minutes,
Hmm.
one thing that is in your control is that you have to be very, very, very well prepared. Know
Hmm.
what you're going to talk about,
Hmm.
understand your audience, know what kind
Hmm.
of people will be sitting,
Hmm.
dress up very comfortably. You're not sort
Hmm.
of conscious about how the way you look or if people would like me or no. That's not even a question. They can like you or they can dislike you. It's on them.
And they
You
actually
have to
want to
be,
listen you. The feeling,
yeah,
the people who are sitting in front of us, they actually just here to want. They want to listen to you, right? So
yeah,
we have to speak.
yeah,
This is the only way.
yeah.
I
Just
remember
be
that
well
when I joined
prepared.
PTV as an anchor. So I started my
Hmm.
first program, and when I completed my first program, so I got fever, 103 fever. Then, then I
Uh,
realized that it's actually a natural thing. When I did the second
yeah,
program, so I was very calm and cool.
absolutely. So the only groundwork that is essential is to prep well, be
Mhm.
very, very well prepared,
Mm.
um, be comfortable, and just leave it to Allah. Then things
Mm.
automatically just find their own way.
Mm. All right. Ma'am, in what ways do employers use career fairs to identify potential candidates?
I think as an employer, if I am going to see, firstly, I have to identify my intention of a career fair. So my intention can be two-dimensional. Firstly, it can be just to have visibility, brand visibility. That's also a fair way to do it, absolutely. The second intention can be actually to hire people, right? So there are two dimensions of it. So I think for brand visibility, excellent branding is very important. The right colors, the right fit, placement, all of that is extremely important. Number two, the intent to hire. If I am an employee, do I intend to hire? If I am actually serious about hiring the person I'm interviewing right now, uh, if I am, then I will dig into the deeper questions. I'll ask about his or her vision, personality, दोस्त कितने हैं, क्या personality type है, the kind of job I'm looking for. So for instance, if I want to hire somebody in human resources, I will be looking at absolutely different traits. If I'm looking to hire somebody in marketing, I'll be looking at absolute different traits. So it all comes down to what I am looking for, what I intend to hire, and it takes up from there.
Great, great, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. It was a wonderful having you
Pleasure.
here and learning from your experiences. But before we wrap up,
Pleasure.
is there
Hmm.
anything you would like to share with our audience or any message you would like to share with young people like me?
Well, I would just tell everybody to uh, be calm, but not enough. So that's my message to everybody.
All right. Believe in ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Ma'am, thank you
And
so
you
much again.
are doing an amazing job, Kamran. I think you're doing an excellent job. I've seen your interviews with all the industry leaders, and I think you're doing an amazing job. And you should definitely give it a push, go faster, and just roll it out there everywhere. So well done to you.
Ma'am, it's an honor for me that you have a compliment for me. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Absolutely, of course.
Have a
Pleasure,
blessed day, ma'am.
pleasure
Take
speaking.
care.
You
Goodbye.
too.
Allah
Take
Hafiz.
care. Bye bye. Bye bye.